your hand in a moment, and keep your hand there, and just move it up and down a bit like that. When you do that, just don't worry about anything, just do that. Now, I have to tell you, it's not going to work that way, but I'm going to ask you to do something I wanted to do for a long time. May I hold your hands for a moment?
Oh, darling,
but
do it.
Unfortunately, the other hand has to go to Christopher.
What am I supposed to be doing?
I shall have to get
Stand up for 1 moment, please. Right. Now, hold, can you manage? Hold Christopher's hand there. Christopher, don't actually touch the
no,
tube.
I'm not touching.
Remember, it is not attached to anything. It is standing on the table. It is there. And watch what happens when I touch the light sculpture, passing right through Ingrid, right to Christopher. Raise your hand a little bit, and a little bit more.
Oh, isn't it pretty? God.
And down again, Christopher.
I wish I could do that with my salary.
I have a feeling you're not taking this seriously. Stop there. All right. Now, if you'd like to hold this in your hand, a little lower so we can see it. All right. And once again, I will touch this, and I'll see if I can get it to come up again.
Oh, it won't work.
It does.
Look, I can do that too. No, he's doing it. Oh, David, you're incredible.
When I let go, it is still working because it's still fully charged at the moment, but then it will probably go down.
No, I don't
as you
want
relax.
it to. No.
Well, will it to go up and it'll go
I
up?
want it to go up.
Well, try.
I like things always to go up. Oh. Come on. More. Yes. Come on.
I think you ought to relax before we get too excited. Get it to go down.
Wonderful.
Why don't you come over and join me somewhere a little more comfortable over there? Would you do that? Yes. Come over. Christopher, perhaps you'll come and sit down there.
Yes.
And Ingrid, would you like to go over there first? Yes. Fine. Make yourself comfortable.
Yes, there's a piece of metal on the floor, I think.
Yes.
We're magnetizing it.
All right. Good. Now, what we were doing just now was something that, if you take it seriously, the scientists call telekinesis, moving things by mental power.
Incredible you are.
Not me, that was...
Oh, yes, you are.
No, but you have a kind of a... it's a sort of force that some people have, isn't it? It's like
I think everybody
plugging
has.
in an old-fashioned telephone exchange, you know, when you...
Yeah. I think we all
plug
have
that
the
cord
force.
in, this extraordinary force, call it whatever you like, comes through you, and it can be either good or bad.
Is it concentration that does it?
Not really. It's, in my case, it's a little know-how, a little trickery, and a little thought control. It's a mixture of everything. I just want to tell you that we're going to talk about something very interesting in a moment, and one of the great modern legends concerned the powers of a young Israeli who apparently demonstrated to the scientists of the world that he could bend metal using only mental power. After just one major television appearance, Uri Geller became a modern legend. But can anyone do what he did? Join us after the break, and remember, if you know what you're doing, nothing is impossible. Puzzles always intrigue me. As you can see, the idea is to get that center ring off there. It certainly won't go that way, and it can't go the other way because it's linked on 3 or 4 different parts, and it won't go over that triangle. But when you know how to do these things, it looks so simple, doesn't it, when you can get them off. I actually left my house just with some of these puzzles. I wonder how they're getting on. How are you getting on with them?
You know, what you did just now reminded me that during the war, we were visited on my squadron by a man you certainly know, the name, Jasper Maskelyne.
Oh, very well, yes.
One of the great, great conjurers. And he was out there for the specific reason of telling us how to get out of handcuffs if we were ever taken prisoner.
That's right.
I'm happy to tell you that I've never had the opportunity of trying to prove it or disprove it, but he did show us extraordinary things.
He was actually also famous for inventing camouflage paint.
Yes, that's right. He mentioned that too.
Incidentally, if you have trouble with these, some are a bit complicated, some are easy.
Ah!
You've done it. Incredible.
Sorry.
What were you trying to do?
The easy way is to use a bit of magic. See if you can't do it that way. blow on it like that, and they come apart like that.
Oh dear, you had no idea.
Yeah, of
Would you
course.
like to do that again?
It comes off like that. It's simple. Tell me, have you by any chance got a coin or some coins? Because I want to show you a puzzle with a coin,
Wait a
which I
minute.
think you'll enjoy.
A minute.
Have you got
Oh,
some?
he's always got money. Always. I remember, yes.
them on the
Lazy
table.
carrot in my ear.
No, you didn't in Scotland,
No,
though.
no. That's
no.
true,
Just put them
yes.
on the table.
Oh, there we are. Okay.
There, I'll take the 10p there. Okay.
I've counted
Interesting
these.
thing, we were talking about metal bending. If you apply it to any piece of metal, what you can actually do is to rub it to imagine that you get some heat in it. Some of it is to do with thought, and you actually use imagination, but other times it's a little more than imagination because it really does bend and become flexible. Now you can do that with any piece of metal, and if you watch, you will see that it is now beginning to bend quite a lot, even more, and it's getting like rubber, flexible and more flexible and even more, so that I can now put it under my finger and mold it around my finger, and we now have a bent coin. That's in the nicest sense of the word. You can see that it really has bent.
Look!
Oh, well, I don't want to look.
No.
I've been counting these.
He didn't take a pound. Don't worry, it's only 10p. Look at that.
Well, you
Oh, I want to keep it. Can I keep it?
yes, of course. I'll tell you what, the traditional thing, of course, is with cutlery. Can you give me those spoons for a moment? The two...
Both of them?
Yes, the two coffee spoons, or see if I've got another coin. No, I don't need another coin. These spoons, we can do something quite incredible. I'd like you to really watch this closely. You're still amazed with the coin.
I
Just
can't
put it down
get
for a
over
moment.
it.
You can keep it as a souvenir. But with these spoons, you really can do some amazing things. If you watch, let me show you. If you apply heat, right?
Yes.
You can actually meld and fuse things together. Now, watch. The idea is to take the two spoons that you can see, all right, and try and meld them together with heat. Now, that doesn't always work, but I'm going to try literally a world's first, because so far we've always bent things. I'm now going to try and actually twist them. So watch closely, because once again I'm applying heat. And I'm trying to get the metal flexible, and once again get it to heat up and become softer and softer. So when I start doing this, I'm now twisting the two spoons together, and I think I hope you'll be amazed if it works, because I can feel it twisting in my hand. It's getting very hot, and as you can see, they really are getting twisted together, rather like those war puzzles that we looked at just a few minutes ago. And be careful, because they're fairly hot at this moment, and as you can see, they are now fused together like a war puzzle. You will see the surprise. The nice thing is they come apart. Be careful, it is a little bit hot, but they do come apart rather nicely like that, you see.
How brilliant.
And they also will fit in together like that.
God.
And
That's the
there's
first-
the wasp. That's the first time that's ever been done anywhere, anytime. Have a look.
Oh, I'm honoured.
And then there's plenty of too. Oh, you must.
Oh, yes.
He'll keep this.
Yeah.
Christopher, you told me something quite surprising just before we started here, that a few days ago you were actually with Geller.
Yes, I was, yes.
And you went to his home and he demonstrated some things to us. I've had a lot of interesting meetings with him. I must tell you, at one point, he had a rather large entourage around him, and so did I.